In this video, I'll show you how I painted this daffodil in watercolors. I painted on a Baohong hot press watercolor paper, which is 300 GSM, 100% cotton, and I used the sample core watercolors sent to me by Golden. I wet the petal first on my left with my synthetic round brush size 8, and I was careful not to go out of the line to avoid the paint running through the areas I didn't intend to. In doing wet-on-wet technique, I avoid puddles on my paper. I let the paper absorb the water for at least 30 seconds to 1 minute before I apply the paint. I also use synthetic brushes to avoid too much water, especially if I use hot press paper which has a smooth texture. I painted the shadows first using quinacridone violet in tea consistency, and I painted petal by petal. If you'd like to know more about watercolor consistency, you can watch the video by tapping the card at the upper right of your screen, or you can check the link later in the description box below. I painted the shadows of the daffodil quinacridone violet because it is the complementary color of yellow. It means a violet is on the opposite side of yellow in the color wheel. This can help to show the natural shadow of whatever you are painting. This first layer is called underpainting, which means I paint the color undertone of the colors above. On the areas that do not have shadows, I just left them unpainted on this stage. For the leaf and stem, some areas I painted yellow and some areas I painted blue. I painted ultramarine blue to the dark areas or shadows and diorite yellow to the lighter areas. As I paint, I look at the reference photo from time to time on my phone so I can zoom in and out. I got the high quality photo royalty free from Unsplash. This is a photo by K. Midge Hodge. In painting the second layer of the daffodil, I rewet the petal first and I use a tea consistency of diorite yellow to paint. The same I did on the first layer. I painted petal by petal. This is also the stage where I will build the color slowly as I paint by adding layers of paint. If you are interested in painting this daffodil, you can get the free printable outline and the link to the reference photo in the description box below. I use chromium oxide green in painting the leaf and the stem. This color is also included in the sample set of core watercolors that Golden sent to me. Honestly, I'm not a fan of greens, and this chromium oxide green is opaque than the greens I mix or with sap green. However, when I tried painting with this chromium oxide green with the violet tulip, I liked it. This is the third layer of the daffodil. I rewet the petals again before adding paint, but this time I used milk consistency of diorite yellow. I let the first petal on the left dry first and skip a petal to avoid the colors blending with each other. I painted lightly on the areas that have highlights and added more paint to those with shadows. Adding darker tones, contrast, and shadows can help to make your painting look realistic, show depth, dimension, and avoid looking flat. In this stage, you should see the quinacridone violet is not very visible, but shows as a natural shadow of the daffodil. I painted lightly on the areas that have highlights and added more paint to those with shadows. Adding darker tones, contrast, and shadows can help to make your painting to look realistic, show depth and dimension that will avoid looking flat. Keep in mind the direction of the subject you are painting. If the petal has a curve on the side, your brush stroke should follow. In this way, your painting will show shape and form on flat paper. In this stage, slowly when I add a darker color to a petal, it looks like it is curved. I look at the reference photo as I paint to see where I can add more colors and where I should paint lightly. In painting the trumpet of the daffodil, I added a bit of pale red medium to the diorite yellow, and I used it to paint the darker areas of the trumpet. I use the diorite yellow to paint the lighter areas of this trumpet, and if you will observe my brush strokes, I painted following the direction of the trumpet from inside going out. I love the daffodil to dry and rewet the leaf, and I painted with chromium oxide green in milk consistency. I added more color below the flower because this is the part of the leaf with shadows. I underpainted the leaf and the stem on the first layer, so the areas with blue underpainting will show darker than the areas with yellow underpainting. You might see just green on the leaf and the stem, but if you zoom in on the reference photo, you will see which areas are lighter, darker, and with a yellow undertone. In painting the fourth layer of the daffodil, I used milk to cream consistency of a darker light yellow, and this time I focus painting on the shadow areas. Adding darker value can help the lighter areas of the painting to pop up more. Slowly, you'll see the petals are more defined with their curves and shadows. By this time, the quinacridone violet I painted on the first layer doesn't look like violet anymore. Instead, it looks like shadows of the daffodil. Also, in this stage, you'll see the petals are separated from the trumpet. If you find this video helpful, please tap the like button. Remember to subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this, and tap the notification bell so YouTube will let you know if I upload a new video. The list of the materials I use, the free outline drawing, and the reference photo are available in the description box below, so be sure to check it out if you would like to try painting this daffodil for your practice. For the last layer of the stem and the leaf, I added a cream consistency of the chromium oxide green, and I used the tip of my brush to paint the thin lines. I added a butter consistency of diorite yellow to the shadow areas of the daffodil as the final touch. And cream consistency mix of diorite yellow and pyrrole red medium to the inner trumpet. this is my finished watercolor realistic daffodil painting. I hope you find this watercolor tutorial helpful. I suggest watching this next video that might help you out in your watercolor journey.